Well, got my teeth tonight. Good evening, people. Dave Jorgensen once here again, and just got off the webinar half hour or so ago that I was advertising, and I was so glad that I listened to it. I don't know if any of you seen or heard it, but in there he talked quite a bit about these special events, these live events, and the benefits from attending them. And I've attended two so far this last year. Next one, of course, is coming up the 28th through the 31st of March in Mesa, Arizona. And anyway, I'd just like to share a little bit of my experience of going. The first one, I went to a training event over in Maui. Now, that one was very, very, very expensive for me because, I hadn't made a dime yet. And, I had borrowed money. So that's what I went on. And we had a fantastic time over there. There was only 8 of us that were in the training so they could spend more time with us. And, I made the mistake, and don't ever make that mistake of staying in a motel somewhere else. Because in Hawaii, anyway, you spend an hour, up to an hour, traveling each way. Usually a half hour, a little more, but sometimes an hour just to get to the class. So that's like 4 hours a day, 2 at minimum, of travel time plus all of your training. So don't ever make that mistake again. It's worth the extra money to stay where the event is. And so anyway, while we were there, it was just fantastic. We had I think Thursday and Friday and Saturday in training. We ate together, lunch together, kind of. We each bought our own lunch, but they had a thing out there, kind of an outdoors thing. It's Hawaii, it's nice weather. And then Sunday was so exciting. We had a little boat ride. We went snorkeling together. And oh man, they provided, the lunch on that boat was just fantastic. And we got to spend some time snorkeling and looking at pretty fish and different things and turtles. Yeah, there was a turtle there. Some of them even saw a shark, a harmless shark. But it's a good thing I didn't see them. I have a fear of sharks. And if anybody would have mentioned shark, I would have jumped right out of the water and landed in the boat. That's how scared I am of sharks. But anyway, it was a blast. And that evening, on Sunday evening, we had a big dinner together. Misha provided a big meal, and we all gathered at this big long table. There was the leaders there that were helping with the training, as well as Misha himself, his girlfriend. And anyway, it was a real blast. Then coming home, we had trouble. My wife got sick, and they kicked us off the plane because she was throwing up. And so we ended up having to, it was a huge, fortunately we have insurance, but the ambulance thing was like $3,000 just to get to a short little hospital from the San Francisco airport. So then we were delayed on our flight getting home. But overall, it was worth it. You have to put yourself out to do these things, and you never. It's memories that you'll never forget. And then, when I went to Arizona last April, we It was just fantastic. It was just like being at a family reunion. I've mentioned this before. You meet all these people that you see when you get together daily on the Zoom calls. Um, you get to know people on a first name basis. Even Misha and all the leaders. I mean, it's just y why? I'm going to ask you a question. Why would anybody that was trying to scam you become your personal friend and lose money to invite you to these live events at a very minimal cost? They don't make money at these. In the long run, he does, because it inspires people to go move ahead. So, in the long run, he does. But on the actual event, I don't even think they break even. But anyway, it's just fantastic. Made a lot of friends. Then on our way home, the second day, I think it was, we were in, well, I can't remember. We had left. We spent the night with some friends in Oklahoma, and we were on our way back up to Michigan. And we looked on my thing, and I had my first $1,000 day on the way home from the live event. Now, that was fantastic news. I hadn't expected that, and I was like, whoa. I was happy. And then we went on home, and then I stalled out on the tech. But anyway, and because I stalled out on the tech, I wasn't making enough money for my wife to be able to go with me to the one that we had in Reno last October. That was a big disappointment for me, especially. She has to stay here home. And anyway, so that won't happen this time. I'll stay home before I go by myself, even though I think it's really important for her, to be there. I think it's extremely important, and I'll be there by hook or crook, but I'll be there with my little baby doll. And anyway, we're looking forward to this one, because the one I went out to in Reno, it was just like me, I was coming down the hall, and here's one of the people. Well, I'd seen him. I'd seen Amber at Maui, and then I saw her again in Arizona, and we were a long ways away. She hollered out my name. Now, these people, they're not scammers. I mean, they are your personal friends wanting you to have success. And those events, you just got to go to them, and then, but I was so excited, I was anxious to get home at the same time because I missed my baby doll. So I drove for over 32 hours straight home. Didn't even stop to eat. I stopped to get gas or fuel, gas, I guess it was. I didn't have my truck. I had my car. And I just bought to-go food, And that, at the truck stops, you can get some pretty good food that way. And I ate on the road. And I drove straight through home to my baby doll, 32 hours straight. I didn't, I thought I'd like to do that, but I didn't think I would be able to. Yeah, I got a little drowsy once, and I stopped at a rest area for about 10, 15 minutes, and they had some trails up and down, and it was kind of brisk in the morning a little bit, and then I was fine. I drove on home, and I hit a dog on the way back, on the way home. Great big old dog. He in construction. I couldn't get around him, and he just head on into me, and I couldn't believe it. It was over $4,000 worth of damage to the car. I mean, he hit with a thud. He was a solid dog. I don't know. He must have got lost somewhere, but he was in a construction where it was only one lane and a wall on either side of you. No way to miss him. No possible way. It's just like, oh, And I can't help this. And anyway, and now I am working hard on my business, very excited, super excited, more exciting. I tell you, the webinar tonight, what they've got going for us now is even way more fantastic. It was fantastic when I joined, but for the new members now, it is really something else. Just attending a live webinar or live event, you become a fully certified, and you can make more sales than we could without investing quite a bit of money. Not that you don't have to invest, but it helps you be able to invest faster because you make more money faster. It's getting better all the time. The changes since I've been here in this year are only for the better, and it makes it more fantastic than when I joined. And of course, they've only been going 33 months too. But if you end up showing up at this next live event or even joining the SAN, let me know. Send me an email, send me a message, or something so I know. And if you go to the live event, you've seen me, you'll recognize me. I want you to come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm here because you invited me." It's just a real fantastic thing. I'm looking at the clock here, and I've just rattled on so much already. I was going to tell you some stories, but I did tell you some stories. But anyway, click the link below and take advantage of this opportunity. The sooner you do, the sooner you will have total freedom in many ways. So, good night, folks. See you all tomorrow.